You won't believe this. The very states once praised as paradises to live in are now ranked among the worst places to buy a home in America in 2026. California, Florida, Texas, names that once symbolized the American dream, are now keeping thousands of people awake at night, with skyrocketing insurance, taxes, and housing costs that make no sense. According to Zillow, more than half of all U.S. states have entered the housing unaffordable phase, meaning even the middle class can no longer afford to keep a roof over their heads. If you're over 50, planning to retire or buy a home for the future, you could lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in the next few years, and no one is warning you about it. In today's video, we'll explore the 10 worst states to buy a home in the United States in 2026, places where the dream of home ownership is melting under the weight of cost and reality. And trust me, the number one state will shock and surprise you. 10. California. The golden dream, lying still California. Once praised as the land of opportunity, sunshine, and new beginnings. But in 2026, for those aged 50 and above considering buying a home, this golden dream may be turning into one of life's harshest tests. Look at the numbers. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the average cost for a home in California in 2024 has exceeded $3,001 per month, the highest in the nation. And that's just the base. Add property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, and the real cost to maintain an average home in the second quarter of 2025 has soared above $5,800 per month, more than $70,000 per year. For those past their prime working years, living on pensions, Social Security, or small investments, those figures are not numbers anymore. They're a financial mountain to climb each month. Buying a home in California now feels less like signing a contract and more like signing with worry. Every bill that arrives is a heartbeat skipped. The question, can I afford to live comfortably, has now become, can I afford to keep this home? And the painful truth is that most people can't answer yes. According to the California Association of Realtors, only 15% of households in the state can afford a median-priced home worth $905,600. To do that, you need to earn about $232,400 per year, paying over $5,800 each month for a mortgage, not including insurance and taxes. For young families, that is already a heavy load. For those over 50, it is a long chain of years, as income remains fixed or declines with time. You are not just buying a house. You are buying a long ride with rising costs, something that tests your health, your income, and your faith that the market won't betray you. And if the numbers weren't enough to make you pause, remember this. California isn't just declining, it's becoming more fragile. Wildfires, droughts, earthquakes, landslides have turned the dream of settling down into a risky game. Many insurance companies have pulled out of the market or raised their rates. In some areas here, home insurance costs have doubled simply because of proximity to high-risk zones. One major fire, one unexpected flood, and your entire retirement plan could be wiped out in just a few days. California is still charming, with its mild climate, stunning scenery, and cultural and technological opportunities. But for those approaching or already in retirement, this is no longer just the land of light. It's the place where light comes with a bill, where every sunset over the ocean carries an insurance statement attached. Before you move, stop for a moment and ask yourself, if my income drops, taxes rise, and insurance climbs, can I really afford to keep this house for the next 15 or 20 years? If your answer isn't certain, then California, no matter how beautiful, may no longer be the safe harbor for those over 50. And if that feels true to you, hit like, because next up, Massachusetts will give you even more to think about. 9. Massachusetts. Prosperous on the outside, a survival test within Massachusetts. Once praised as the intellectual heart of America. Harvard, MIT, Boston, names that echo as symbols of knowledge and civilization. But if you're over 50 and think this might be the place to settle, retire, or invest in a home, take a moment to pause. Because behind the shell of high quality of life lies a reality you might be sleeping on. The average housing cost in Massachusetts has exceeded $2,700 per month, significantly higher than the national average. Each month, housing alone consumes nearly half the income of many older residents, not counting taxes, insurance, healthcare, and energy bills, all among the highest in the Northeast. The latest Business Insider report also ranks Massachusetts among the least affordable housing markets in America, with home prices far outpacing income. The median home price here has surpassed $600,000, while the median household income sits at just about $93,000 per year. That means if you rely on pensions, savings, or investment returns, Massachusetts can quietly drain your budget through fixed monthly costs alone. What makes Massachusetts exceptional is also what makes it difficult. Its historical prestige, world-class healthcare, elite education, and advanced infrastructure. But don't forget, high quality of life doesn't mean easy life. When everything is priced at an upper-class level, you, as someone entering retirement, are playing a game that's no longer fair. From winter heating systems and snow maintenance fees, to home insurance in storm and flood-prone areas, the cost of maintaining a home in Massachusetts has become nothing short of a financial marathon. In addition, Massachusetts is showing a reverse residency situation, with many young and middle-aged people leaving the state to find places with a more breathable cost of living. According to the U.S. Census, the state has lost more than 40,000 residents over the past 2 years, mainly workers and middle-income families. When the middle class pulls out, the local public finance structure becomes more fragile. Higher taxes, higher service fees, and those who remain, especially older people, bear that difference. Massachusetts may still be beautiful, still civilized, still full of spiritual value, but for people aged 50 plus, the question is no longer, do I want to live here? But can I afford to live here long term? Where every cost tends to go up, while retirement income does not. Massachusetts is a two-sided mirror. One side shines brightly with knowledge, healthcare, and opportunity. The other is shadowed by home prices, taxes, and rising living costs. If you are entering the live slow, live deep phase, this is a state worth admiring, but not easy to settle in. Calculate carefully, very carefully, before you sign the housing contract. 8. Washington. Where the rain never ends, and neither do the bills. In Washington, people are used to the rain. But what falls the most isn't water, it's bills. From Seattle to Tacoma, gray showers fall over modern rooftops, where the young chase technology and the older slow down, counting each expense climbing higher. Washington was once a dream. Tech, nature, self-made success. Amazon, Microsoft, Starbucks, global empires born here. But behind the blue glow of glass towers lies a reality few wish to face. The cost of living has far outpaced the average income. According to the Washington Center for Real Estate Research, to buy an average home, $506,000, residents need to earn over $180,000 per year, while the median household income is only around $94,000. For the young, that's already tough. For those 50-plus planning for retirement, it feels like a cold rain dripping straight into the wallet. In winter, heating costs accelerate. In spring, home maintenance ramps up. And in summer, when the rare sun peeks out, local taxes get adjusted again. Everything in Washington runs by its own rule. Beautiful things come at a price, and once you start paying, you can't easily stop. Those who once dreamed of retiring among the green pine forests now have to reconsider how to afford property taxes in King County, where they've already topped $6,000 a year. And if you plan to rent out your home for extra income, remember, the rental market is also tightening as residents leave the state for cheaper places. Washington remains stunning. In the morning, mist blankets the land like nature's own quilt. At night, light dances on the waters of Puget Sound. But for those 50 and older, that beauty isn't paid for with money alone. It's paid in scrutiny, calculation, and sometimes the sacrifice of the comfort they once worked so hard for. If you believe what's happening in Washington is only the tip of the iceberg, hit subscribe, because the next states will surprise you even more. 7. Florida, the sunshine paradise that's now burning itself. Florida, the place where retirement dreams once began. White beaches, golden sunsets, waves crashing on wooden porches, and a glass of wine in hand. That image drew millions here for decades. But in 2026, the question is no longer, when will you move to Florida? But when will you move out? Hurricane Ian in 2022 was the turning point. One of the costliest natural disasters in U.S. history. Over $112 billion in damage. More than 19,000 homes destroyed across Southwest Florida, and hundreds of thousands left without shelter. 3 years later, the scars remain, not just on the land, but on the housing market itself. Insurance companies have pulled out en masse. In some communities, like Fort Myers and Punta Gorda, insurance is nearly impossible to obtain. Residents are forced to pay out of pocket or leave. According to Florida realtors, by mid-2025, active listings had surpassed 180,000 homes, the largest number in the state's history. Prices haven't collapsed overnight, but the heat of the market is fading faster than the midday sun in June. Buyers are disappearing, while costs keep climbing. Average home insurance in Florida is now over $6,000 per year, and for coastal areas, it can reach $10,000. Many retirees call it a climate tax, a bill they never planned for. And as if that weren't enough, HOA fees are spiraling out of control. In some retirement communities in Naples and Palm Beach, maintenance fees have doubled in just 18 months. New buyers hesitate, while retirees struggle to survive in contracts they once thought were safe. Yet the greatest irony is, Florida is still irresistible. The sun still shines, the ocean breeze still soothes, and those who have come still want to stay. Some say, Florida is where you come to dream and then learn to wake up. Paradise hasn't fallen, but it's cracking, slowly, between the sun, the sea, and the very dreams people brought with them. Do you believe the Florida dream is still worth chasing, even at this price? Leave your thoughts below. 6. Colorado, where the air is thin and so is the budget. In Colorado, people often say, the air here is so fresh it makes you forget about housing prices. But when you're over 50 and your retirement income doesn't rise with the altitude of the Rocky Mountains, even breathing comes with a price. The story of Richard and Marlene, a retired couple from Texas who moved to Boulder in 2018, was once mentioned on a local housing forum. They sold their old home and bought a small wooden cabin on the hillside, hoping to enjoy their golden years surrounded by nature. But by 2024, their home insurance bill had climbed to $9,200 a year. Winter heating costs reached nearly $600 a month, and a wildfire less than 3 miles away caused their insurer to cancel the policy. They didn't lose their house, but they lost their peace. "I thought fear of heights was the hardest part of living in Colorado," Richard wrote. "Turns out, it's the fear of the bills." Colorado truly is beautiful. Snow-capped mountains, sunsets spilling across rocky slopes, and postcard-perfect towns. But the cost of living here has climbed as steeply as its terrain. According to the Colorado Association of Realtors, the median home price in 2025 hovers around $580,000, nearly 6 times the median household income. Wildfire and avalanche insurance premiums have risen 35% in just 2 years. And in mountain regions, roof repair costs after each winter are enough to drain most retirees' emergency savings. On top of that, heating and energy expenses in Colorado are 30% higher than the national average. What younger people call the dreamland, older residents now see as the land of budget testing. If you've ever dreamed of a peaceful place to retire, hit subscribe, because here we'll uncover which places are truly livable, not just beautiful on postcards. 5. Texas, the land of opportunity. Cracking under its own heat. Texas was once a promise, a place of wide lands, open skies, no state income tax, and homes so cheap everyone believed just moving here is enough to live well. But in 2026, that promise is slowly turning into a burden no one can afford to carry. The breaking point came in mid-2025, the Texas home insurance crisis. After a series of tornadoes and floods across Houston, Austin, and Dallas, more than 12 local insurance companies declared bankruptcy or withdrew from the market, leaving hundreds of thousands of households without coverage. The remaining companies seized the opportunity, raising premiums by an average of 45% in just 10 months. A home once insured for $2,000 a year now costs $3,000 to $4,500, and in some riverfront areas, flood insurance is 3 times higher. At the same time, Texas property taxes have climbed to among the highest in the nation, averaging 1.6% of a home's value annually, equal to $9,000 to $12,000 per year for homes in developed areas. No state income tax? True. But Texas takes it back through property taxes and infrastructure fees, especially after multiple counties suffered severe storm damage. According to the Houston Chronicle, nearly 23% of new homeowners in Texas have struggled to make loan payments on time, mainly due to the combination of high interest rates and surging ownership costs. A wave of retirees from California who moved here a few years ago are now pulling back, realizing that Texas is no longer cheap. It just calculates differently. Mr. James and Mrs. Ellen, a retired couple from San Diego, are a clear example. They sold their California home and bought a larger one in Austin for half the price. But after just 2 years, their property taxes, insurance, and maintenance combined have surpassed what they once paid in California. "I moved here because it was cheaper," James said, but it turns out that was only true in the ads. Because in Texas, the sun doesn't just dry the desert. It's drying out the wallets of many who thought they'd found paradise. 4. New Jersey. Where even wealth gets tired. New Jersey. Where the streets are spotless, the old houses elegant, and Manhattan is just a bridge away. A place of comfort, top-rated schools, and world-class hospitals. It all sounds perfect, until you open your tax bill. In May 2025, Moody's Analytics issued a warning. If tax revenue drops another 5%, New Jersey could face a budget default in just 2 days. That shocking number caught national attention, not only because of weak finances, but because the state's public debt has already surpassed $220 billion, equal to more than $44,000 per resident. And where does that show up most clearly? Inside every home. According to Business Insider, New Jersey has the highest property taxes in the United States, averaging $9,800 per year, double the national rate. Many retirees joke bitterly, "Here, you don't buy your home, you rent it back from the government." The story of Linda, a 62-year-old retired teacher from Bergen County, went viral in a Facebook group for older homeowners. She wrote, "I finished paying off my mortgage last year, but I still have to set aside nearly $1,000 a month just to keep ownership of my house." That post received thousands of shares, not because it was unusual, but because it was everyone's story. New Jersey remains appealing, with good amenities, proximity to New York, and solid infrastructure. But for those over 50, the state is no longer a place to rest. It's an annual budget puzzle. Retirement income must now be divided three ways: taxes, insurance, and living costs, all rising faster than inflation. Some residents are leaving, heading to Pennsylvania, Delaware, or the Carolinas, where the climate is milder and taxes are lower. New Jersey calls it the outflow. But with every family that leaves, the state's budget shrinks further, creating a vicious cycle that drives taxes even higher the next year. New Jersey is beautiful, but it's an expensive, elegant kind of beauty that comes with stress, like an aging luxury car, shiny on the outside, but every fill-up makes you sweat. If you plan to retire here, remember, living in New Jersey is a privilege, but that privilege comes at a price. 3. Maryland, wealthy, but no longer easy to breathe. In Maryland, being rich isn't an achievement, it's a requirement. A modest home in Rockville now averages over $560,000, and to afford it, you need an annual income of at least $160,000. That figure was published by the Maryland Realtors Association in early 2025. It might sound normal to DC residents, but for anyone nearing retirement, it's a long-term financial sentence. Electricity, water, food, healthcare, everything costs 15 to 30% higher than the national average, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. And the irony is this: Maryland has high state income taxes, but doesn't fully exempt retirement income, meaning even when you retire, the state still collects. In February 2025, the Baltimore Sun published an article titled "The Retirement Mirage," describing a wave of older residents leaving Maryland for the Carolinas and Florida, not because of the weather, but because they can no longer afford peace of mind. One woman in the article, April 67, said, "I used to think I was smart enough to plan for retirement, but Maryland made me redo the math every single month. Maryland is still livable, that's true. You've got Johns Hopkins, charming bayfront neighborhoods, a stable government, and near-perfect safety. But those same strengths make the cost of living suffocating. You can't just live simply here. You have to live strategically, with spreadsheets and backup plans. And that's why Maryland ranks third on this list. Not because it's poor, but because it's so wealthy that ordinary people can no longer breathe. In Maryland, you can see the U.S., capital from your window. But when you look at your monthly bills, you'll find yourself asking, where does true freedom really live? If you've ever felt that way, thinking you had enough, only to realize you didn't, hit subscribe. Every new video is a lesson to help us find safer places to live and retire. 2. Hawaii, where paradise charges. Rent monthly morning in Maui. Sunlight shines on a sea as blue as jade. The waves are gentle, the wind carries salt, and small wooden houses glimmer behind the palms. Everyone has dreamed of living here until they receive their first bill. In Hawaii, you don't pay for a house, You pay for the feeling of existing inside your own postcard. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the average homeowner cost in Hawaii in 2025 has exceeded $3,300 per month, higher than California. And home prices? Nearly $900,000 for a median home, while the average household income is around $104,000 a year. It's a math problem that doesn't balance, painted over with beauty that makes people willing to close their eyes. After the massive Lahaina fire in August 2023, which destroyed thousands of homes and left more than 10,000 people without shelter, Hawaii didn't just lose an old town, it lost the illusion that nature is always gentle. Since then, home insurance costs have risen by an average of 35%, and many companies now refuse to cover coastal areas. Many residents are paying over $8,000 a year just for a false sense of security. I remember a quote from a local resident featured on Hawaii News Now. "We live where others dream to be, but every dream here comes with a debt." Hawaii doesn't lie. It's still breathtakingly beautiful, still a place that makes older hearts want to stay forever. But when you're 50 or 60, living on fixed savings, each sunrise is a new calculation. Everything is more beautiful when you're just visiting. One Montana, the land of freedom and empty homes. Montana doesn't say much. It just opens up a sky so vast you can hear the sound of your own wind. Grasslands stretch to the horizon. Small houses stand lonely in the snow, and for sale signs tilt in the wind like whispers from the earth. Over the past few years, tens of thousands of people have flocked here, believing Montana was a place to start over. No traffic, no noise, not as expensive as California. But what they didn't know is that peace also has a price. And sometimes, that price is loneliness, harsh weather, and living costs that climb just as high as anywhere else. According to Visual Capitalist, home prices in Montana have surged more than 66% in just 4 years, while median income has barely moved. Towns like Bozeman and Missoula, once hidden gems of America, now have median home prices above $650,000, far beyond what most locals can afford. A retired couple told the Great Falls Tribune they came to Montana to slow down, but the bills came faster than the snow. In winter, temperatures can drop to 20 degrees Celsius. Roads freeze, cars won't start, and the nearest store might be miles away. When you're young, that's called adventure. When you're 60, it's called a health risk. On top of that, property taxes, maintenance, and repair costs in remote areas are higher than most imagine. Banks are reluctant to lend, shipping takes longer, and if you ever want to sell your home, there will be many who look, but few who buy. You see, Montana doesn't need noise, it doesn't need debate, it just stays silent. And it's that silence that makes you feel it. Each state on today's list isn't just a place with high home prices or heavy taxes. It's a reminder that in America, by 2026, finding a home is no longer as simple as it once was. If you're over 50, this isn't the time to dream. It's the time to calculate every dollar, every risk, every piece of land. Because sometimes, one wrong decision doesn't just cost money, it costs peace of mind. Share this video if you found it helpful, and comment below, which state do you think will collapse next? Your answer might be the topic of the next video. Thank you for watching until the end. And remember, don't choose the most beautiful place. Choose the place that lets you live your truest life.